Yourselves about how to, just kind of make sure you're feeding off the atmosphere that you'll have here tonight and getting off to that good sort of first 10 minutes I know you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. I think tonight we know start's important, and I think the crowd should help us out there. Obviously not our two best starts in Calgary, but we battled back in both games, and especially game 2. But tonight, I think with the atmosphere and the crowd buzzing, I think there's no excuse why we shouldn't come out flying tonight.
This Calgary group can really put your defensemen under a lot of pressure and duress. As forwards, what's kind of the messaging to you about the ways you can help with that?
Yeah, well, I think hold-ups in the neutral zone are key. Getting on top of their guys, not letting them come through with speed, and just put the puck in and make that defenseman go back with the guy sniffing, coming right behind them. So we got to make sure that we're getting hold-ups for them and try to just limit their clean forechecks as much as possible.
We're always talking about special teams in the playoffs, but in this series, 4-on-4 has actually gone pretty well for the Oilers. Everyone says, oh, we've got to stay out of the box, but from your perspective, your team, if you guys do some after the whistle stuff and it turns out to be a 4-on-4 and you take a guy off with you, is that a problem for the Oilers right now?
Well, I think usually throughout the year we've been a decent 4-on-4 team. I mean, you got Connor and Leo playing together on that 4-on-4. I mean, that's two tough guys to stop. So obviously we want to limit the after the whistle stuff, and we want to play through the whistles, and but at the same time stick up for each other. And so I mean, we've had success there before, but also you can get stung there too. So obviously staying disciplined is as the series goes on, it's going to become more and more important.
So Jacob Markstrom's a Vezina candidate, obviously a very, very top goalie in the league, and you guys have put at least 5 past him 3 games in a row here. How come? When you got going on this goalie?
Well, I mean, obviously we know he's a good goalie, so we try to pressure him as much as possible. And the first game, we didn't do a good enough job early enough in the game to do that. But I thought the other night we did a good job right from the start, just kind of putting pucks on, getting those second opportunities, not letting them see every shot. And it's things like that slowly you got to break goalies down that way. But we know he's a good goalie, and we just got to pressure him as much as possible.
Ryan, there's always a lot of focus on Connor, Leon, and yourself. Can you maybe talk just about what you've seen in the growth this year with Ryan McLeod? Like you, he's playing in every situation. Just, how do you see the progression in his game?
For sure. I mean, definitely over the past couple of years and stepping into this year, he made a big step. I think offensively, defensively, like you said, I mean, he plays in every situation. To be able to do that, I mean, he's a smart player, and he knows when to think offensively, when to be defensive minded. So I think he's really taken a step in the right direction this year, and it's exciting to see for our team and for himself, and definitely a guy that you can trust on all sides of the puck.
Ryan, just over here on your right, that's a big group over in Calgary, especially on the defense core, but Zach Hyman's skill set and toolkit has really helped you guys in the first couple of games. What can you say about the dynamic he brings and how important that is in a series like this, and the addition of him overall this season?
Yeah, I think all year we've seen it. The way that he plays the game is, I mean, he's just so hard on pucks. He's one of the toughest guys in the league to take the puck off of. So, I mean, we've seen him go up against the biggest guys in the league, and you still can't take the puck off him. So it's definitely something that he takes pride in, and he does so well. So I think that's been a huge key for us all year. And obviously holding on to the puck's one thing, but being able to do something with it the next play is another thing. And he obviously can find a guy when he's open and can put the puck in the net when he sees an opportunity. So definitely, I think it's kind of something that he's built all year, and we're seeing it now too.
we as media and fans of hockey in general can only imagine how difficult it is to play in a Stanley Cup playoff game. But the ability of your goaltender, Mike Smith, to compartmentalize, when it's not going his way, but he seems to be focused on the next stop. How difficult is that as an athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially as a goalie, you're in there. There's no breaks. You're not getting, you're not going off for a shift or two, and you got to be able to put that last one behind you as quick as possible. And I think that's why being a good goalie in this league, you have to be so mentally strong. And obviously, to play as long as Smitty has, obviously he's mentally strong and. He knows what to fall back on, and he's confident as he should be in his abilities. So, and we're confident in him as a group. So, I think as a player, you obviously have to put if you had a tough shift, you get scored on, you got to put that behind you and move on. But I think just as important as a goalie.
Ryan, you've been here with Connor a long time, and we've all marveled what he'd done, but it looks like he's just taken his game to even another level, I guess. Can you just comment on just the way he's taken over games right now and how he's kind of separated himself from the pack even?
Yeah, I think he continues every year. Every important situation, he seems to take another step and bring his game to another level. And I think this playoffs, he's been physically he's been hitting guys. He's used his body to protect the puck and getting on forechecks. And we see that as a group. And then obviously he makes the plays every chance that's available. So it creates something out of nothing in so many situations. So I mean, as a group, when he's your captain, he's doing that. You want to follow that, and you want to follow his example, basically.
When you have a guy like that, do you ever feel like you're ever out of a game? Like you guys were down 4-1, you came back, you were down 2-0. Like, do you ever feel like, no, we got Connor on our side, we're never out of a game here?
Well, I mean, obviously he makes things happen when you don't think it's possible, but we don't want to put ourselves in situations where we're just waiting, like relying on Connor to have to go do something crazy like that. I mean, obviously we want to put ourselves in good situations and as a group, find a way to score 5-on-5 and whatnot. But I mean, obviously, having a guy like that is pretty special. Okay, thanks.
And there was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins kicking off our Oilers TV live pregame show. Tony Brar here alongside 630 Cheds, Cam Moon. And Cam, of course, the series split 1-1 as we come back to Edmonton for Game 3. And if the first two games serve as any indication, should be another instant classic with the Oilers barn rocking tonight.
I would expect it to be incredibly loud in here tonight. I'd expect the excitement level from both teams clearly, and with the series being 1-1, that it's going to be highly contested, but the atmosphere will be unreal.
Yeah, much of the storylines coming into this Battle of Alberta series was about the goaltending. By the way, we will be hearing from Leon Draisaitl in just a few moments. Actually, apologies. It's actually going to be Brett Kulak, and he's actually at the Oilers media availability right now.
Brett. Hey. You got crushed early in the game the other night and took a little time away and then came back and played it out. What'd you feel like yesterday morning, and any after effects from that hit?
No, I feel fine from the hit actually, but yeah, it definitely caught me off guard at the time. I was not expecting a guy to come from over there. I was going back to the corner with a guy on my right and, anticipating just making the battle with him or whatever, but then I just took a hit on the left side. So I don't know if it was to my advantage and helped me actually that I didn't even know a guy was coming there. I was like, whatever, I just went down so easily. It felt like that, the impact didn't feel that crazy for me, so luckily.
It's a pretty physical series, right? And you're the guy retrieving pucks and getting pounded on, you and your defensive teammates. I guess you went 4 rounds last year. Does it just increase as you get deeper in the playoffs? Do you just know that hit you took the other night's going to happen once in a while?
Yeah, I think so. you know, in the playoffs, I think you got to earn it every shift, and it's not easy. And like you say, it piles up, and it keeps getting harder as you go. And it kind of comes down to who wants it more on each team, pretty much at the end of the day, and who's going to take more of those, give more of those, and just you know, stay focused and get the job done.
Brett, these guys Flames are a pretty hard forechecking team. I guess you obviously knew that going in. I guess what maybe is one of the keys to kind of playing against that when you know guys are coming as soon as you get back to the puck, I guess?
Yeah, we talk about getting back to pucks quick and keeping it moving. And, you know, there's going to be guys on you all the time, and every team wants to forecheck quick because they want to create turnovers for themselves and get their offense going. So, yeah, for us, it's about getting back quick, getting the puck moving, and spend as little time in our zone as possible.
And you guys have seen them so much this year. Is it just a matter of, you know, whoever wins the most puck battles is probably going to win the game? Does it come down to just battles on the ice and little things on the ice make a big difference? Yeah, it's a big part of the game for sure, you know, because one lost puck battle, the dominoes can start falling, and you know, usually things like that can accumulate goals against. So I think that's a huge focus for everyone in their individual game, and as a team, it's puck battles a very important part of the game.
They've got the jump on you guys both games here. As you evaluate the starts, you know, what do you think your focus needs to be on to just make sure you're at least playing even and not chasing early?
Yeah, I think it's that balance between, you know, protecting our end but being on our toes and just playing our game too, right? And starts the thing we always emphasize. We talk in the room, and we all work to prepare for and get out there, and we want to come with a good start. It's not like we show up and we're half asleep, you know, and then we're like, oh, we better wake up. That's not the case. It's just the way it's gone, and you know, it's something you keep working at.
Brett, last night Gerard broke his sternum with a hit. Is that always a problem for a defenseman? You never know. You're going to get hit hard. Sometimes you just shake it off, and other times, like you said, last game you get up and, oh man, is it difficult for a defenseman because you never really know? Yeah. Every hit can take a guy out of the game. Yeah, it sucks because you want to protect yourself at the same time, but you want to get back and make that play with the puck. So there's a fine line you got to walk there. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, you know, guys are so big and strong and fast, and they want to finish their checks every time, and the game's happening so quick, and guys' body positions are changing so fast. It's not like they're always tending to hit high or hit dirty or whatever, but sometimes that's just the way it plays out. But I think, yeah, it's tough to see anyone get hurt like that. And can you tell who's coming to hit you, as opposed to, like, if Milan Lucic is coming to hit you as opposed to somebody else, Johnny Goodrow or whoever else? Can you tell that as a defenseman, oh, this is going to be a harder one than Oh, yeah, it definitely makes you aware, and you get yourself more prepared for it, and you know who's on the ice almost all the time. So, thank you. Yeah.
Brett, some players that are dealt on deadline day, struggle to adjust to their new surroundings. Other guys fit in. It feels like you fit in pretty seamlessly here, but what's that like for a player? Like, how do you integrate yourself in a group where, you don't know everyone and you want to fit in?
Yeah, I think for me personally, that was my first time ever been getting traded at the deadline. I got traded a season before back to Montreal, but at the deadline it's different. You come in and it's that late in the season, everyone's so locked into their playing styles and the roles within. I think for me it was just about getting here, getting comfortable with the guys, getting comfortable with the systems and how we want to play in areas, and then just kind of settling in and finding what role I can help the team best and help the team have success. So I think, it was a couple week adjustment, but feels like I've been here forever now. All right.
And there was Oilers defenseman Brett Kulak as coverage continues here on the Oilers TV live pregame show. And just before he stepped out, I wanted to talk about the goaltending. Of course, that was a main storyline coming into this playoff battle of Alberta. Cam, going back to the regular season, so 6 games now, the Oilers have actually had their number with one of the best goalies in the league in Jacob Markstrom, scoring 5 goals at least 5 times in those 6 contests. What do you make of that?
Well, I think the Edmonton Oilers, when they play the Calgary Flames, get up for those games. It's a big rivalry. It's your provincial rival that you want to get up for. And Calgary's a top club. They're number one in the Pacific Division for a reason. So I think the Oilers get up for that, quite honestly, and as a result have had some success around that net. Now, at the end of the day, in those 6 games, they're 3 wins and 3 losses. Yeah. So, that you can. There's been some good, there's been some bad in there for sure. Yeah. But yeah, they need to continue to pressure, and certainly in the last 40 minutes, or I would say 40, maybe 48 minutes of that game of Game 2. A really good pressure, good opportunity around Jacob Markstrom. And when they had opportunity, they made good on them. So that's the thing. You're only going to get so many chances, and you got to find ways when you get them.
And speaking of pressure, that's a word that you just used there to describe the Oilers, but it's also a word that you can use to describe the Calgary Flames forecheck. And as you mentioned during Brett Kulak's media availability, a lot of the same words being echoed as we heard from Duncan Keith a couple days ago.
Yeah, both defensemen saying how important it is to get back on the puck quick and get to it quick, because that pressure from the Flames, they're on you right away. That's a very aggressive forecheck, and you certainly saw it in like unbelievable amount in that first game of how much pressure there was. So the Oilers have to be ready for that.
All right, Jay Woodcroft looking to get his team up 2-1 after Game 3, and he's at the podium here at the Oilers media availability.
Morning, Jay.
Morning.
Just along the lines of relieving pressure on your defensemen, because when Calgary's going, they tend to put a lot of pressure on them. What role do your forwards play in kind of trying to help out with that a bit?
Yeah, I think the harder we work back for our D makes us a better breakout team, makes us a better team overall. So when we talk about breaking out, it doesn't just come down to D-men. It's 5-man units, and a lot of times with Mike, it's a 6-man.
Your team is known as a nice bounce-back team. If you have a tough one, you bounce back really well. What would you say about your team's ability to handle success and, come back after one win and to handle that success properly?
Yeah, I think I would go back to the last 3 months when we talked about taking care of the day's business, and that's where we've kind of put our focus. We steer the conversation a lot of times in terms of what our process is. And I think when you have that mindset and you're driven to become a little bit better each and every day, results take care of themselves. So whether we've had success or we didn't have success, that's the mindset that we've adopted here over the last 3 months.
So coaches are always harping about staying out of the box, especially in the playoffs. I get that. Mm-hmm. You guys have had quite a lot of success, or had some success here at 4-on-4 play. What is your message to your team about scrums and after the whistle stuff and being around the goalie after the puck's frozen?
Yeah, I think for us, it's been the same message that we've had all year. We're one of the most disciplined teams in the National Hockey League. We preach scrum discipline. We have people willing to take one for their team. And, their tactics are their tactics. But for us, we're a disciplined team. And part of being disciplined is making sure you maintain scrum discipline.
Does it get, I don't want to use the word easier, but your team's come home here now several times. Like, it's playing in front of this playoff crowd's not a new thing anymore, right? Mm-hmm. You've been on a playoff journey for a couple weeks here. As a coach, can you move on from a team maybe that starts the game overexcited or some of the things that might have been a problem in the first couple of games against LA? Can you get past that stuff now?
Yeah, I think you're referencing the first game against LA. The second game we won 6-0 here at home. But for me, I think, we're well deep into our playoff run. And we talked about our leadership group after. We got guys who are just a few years younger than I am here on this team. And, I think they do a good job of setting the emotional level for our group, setting the work ethic level for our group, and I have no worries about our willingness to rise to the occasion.
When you look back at the starts that you've had over these first 2 games, what are you emphasizing to your team tonight about what you can do better as opposed to, just meeting that challenge that Calgary brings early on?
Yeah, sure. Well, we want to score the first goal. Nobody sets out with a game plan to find themselves down early. As I said, over the last few days, you have to account that the other team does some good stuff too. So for us, it's just about making sure that we're bringing a mindset where we want to be on our toes. We don't want to dip our toe in the water and take the temperature of the game. We know what the temperature of the game is going to be, and we'll be ready. I'm excited about it.
Jay, Ryan McLeod's played very well. Is this, when you play into the playoffs, it's obviously a different story than the regular season, but as a coach, are you very appreciative of a young player that can up his game in the playoffs, and you say, okay, he's a real player now because the tempo's higher and the hitting's harder and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten to see Ryan McLeod since his very first professional hockey game, which happened in the second round of the playoffs in the American Hockey League that I coached the team for. So I have a very good understanding of his capabilities as a player, of his ability to rise to occasions, his ability to respond after maybe not a great performance, all that type of thing. And I'm seeing a player grow before our eyes. Like, this is a good playoff run for him. He's been an important player on our team, touches a lot of areas of the game, and we're going to need him here as we move forward. We need his legs because he's an elite skater.
Calgary's talked a lot about discipline and playing within the whistles, but you just said the word scrum discipline, and well, what do you mean by that? What does scrum discipline entail?
Well, I think if you watch the games, you see who initiates a lot of things in scrums. And for us, we go to the net hard. We play between the whistle. We keep our hands down, and the other team what the other team does. Though that's a tactic of their team. For us, we make sure that nobody's getting taken advantage of in those situations. We protect ourselves, but we're not the initiators. We go hard to the hard areas, and we keep our hands down, and we maintain that scrum discipline. That's what we do. Good, thanks, guys.
And that's going to do it for the pregame media availabilities. We heard from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Brett Kulak, and just now head coach Jay Woodcroft. Of course, the series Game 3 here, split right down the middle. Now, Game 2 offered a first for the Oilers in these playoffs, and that was a lead change, either for or against them. So we've been talking a lot about the Oilers' ability to come back, and that was actually the first time they were able to successfully come back in that game. Of course, a 5-3 final a couple of nights ago. Now, reporting from Morning Skate, we saw the same lines and D pairings with the exception of Darnell Nurse. He didn't skate, but it is likely that he will be good to go tonight. And of course, Leon Draisaitl, it seems to be the norm now. He won't be skating on any full or optional practices as he continues to rehab and get that lower body injury back to 100%. That's going to do it for us here from Rogers Place. We'll see you here tonight after Game 3. Enjoy the game, everybody, and thanks for making us a part of your Sunday morning.